everybody, and thanks for joining us. We're so excited that you're here today. We are just enjoy making these videos with you and for you guys. And today we have a special treat. We're going to hear from Travis today on our topic of consumerism. You can read more of what he wrote in his blog, of course, when you go into the blog and you click it and you read it. You can also watch this video, which will kind of gives a little bit more insight of the things that he had written on. But I want to highly recommend you go in and you read his post. I know that it'll be very good for all of us and for our community as well. But the other thing you can do as well, of course, is go ahead and click the like, share, and subscribe. Share those other individuals. Share. Just think about one person you can share it with. Let's do that today. But without further ado, Travis, what is consumerism, and is it all bad?
Yeah, consumerism. It's an ism, right? It has that little ism at the end, like materialism or conservatism, liberalism. It's almost like a philosophy type of thing, a framework of understanding and seeing the world. And there aren't probably many, if any, people that I'm aware of personally that would be like, oh yeah, I'm a consumerism philosophy all the way. But nonetheless, I think it's a philosophy or a way of living that many of us follow and is kind of within the culture at large. And so though it may not be named explicitly, it's seen in things like buying this new thing, upgrading your phone every year, upgrading your car every year, whatever it might be, right? Ultimately, it's based on the idea of we all as humans are consumers. We consume things. And when you look at scripture, even from the beginning, we as humans were consumers. In the Garden of Eden, before sin entered the world, we were consumers because God told Adam and Eve that they could eat of any fruit except for the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? So they could go and consume fruit from the trees. And so we know that consuming is not bad. That's necessary for our survival. And I dropped a quote in my blog post from Paul Metzger, one of my former professors. He talks about we all need to consume. It's a part of life, but really where it becomes a problem is when it's inordinate consumption, when it's overconsumption. And so it's hard for us to place limits on what we consume. And so consumerism really is focusing on that overconsumption of our culture of, I want to indulge in all of my pleasures and all of the luxuries and comforts of today, with no regard for other people, with no regard for how it affects others. And I think it's kind of twofold because on the one hand, it's that I constantly have to keep buying stuff, replacing my old stuff. But then it's also all that old stuff I have, I'm just tossing it out. I'm just throwing it, getting it out of here. I don't want it around me anymore because I don't care about it. I got the new thing. And so the impact is twofold because one, when you're constantly buying stuff, either A, you make a lot of money and then you're spending a lot of money, or B, you're going into a lot of debt. Right. And so that debt is pretty hard. And I put a stat in there. I think it said the average American household has, like $23,000, $24,000 in non-mortgage debt. So not going towards a house payment. Right. And so that's pretty significant. That's a lot of money to be in debt. And then on the flip side of that, when they're done buying those new products and ready to replace it, those products fill up landfills. They fill up our streets sometimes even, and they fill up the beaches in countries like Ghana, where clothing companies have just been dumping clothes on the beaches in Ghana. And so, yeah, consumerism is not necessarily all bad because we have to consume. We have to buy new things. It's good to have new and quality items, but are we buying more than we need? Are we so self-focused that we aren't recognizing the impact our buying and throwing out of old stuff is having on other people? That's where it gets dangerous.
What are some of the overconsumption that you see in the church?
Yeah, I write a little bit in my blog about how this does come with us to church every Sunday, is how I put it. The ideas of this consumeristic culture follow us into our church life. And I've seen it in a number of ways. I've participated in it myself personally. I've, recognized in myself the consumeristic tendencies that I have and I give into and follow. And in the church specifically, like I'm thinking of not just the people in the church, but in like the organized activities of the church. Sometimes we can be so focused on having a very nice, fancy event or something like that, that we spend lots of money, which I'm not saying is all bad, because Jesus did have nice banquets, and the lady poured perfume on him that was very expensive, and he said this was a good thing that she did. And so it's not that having nice things is wrong. It's not that having a nice fancy banquet or event or celebration or maybe even a Sunday service is wrong. But I think we have to question, like, why do we want that? And then, two, I think we really run the risk when we focus so heavily as the church on the event, right? The Sunday service, we got to have the best sermon, we got to have the best worship music, whatever it might be. That's been my experience, is that I've seen a lot. And we turn our Sunday gatherings into a religious consumerism, where now all the people coming, they're coming to consume our religious offerings that we're giving to them, like cool worship songs and a message that will make you feel good about yourself and go about your day, and really not actually following the Christian faith and encouraging them to participate in the life of the church, but rather just come and join us for service and consume our religious goods and services that we have. And so that's where I think we as a church, we can fall into that culture and that mindset, and we need to resist.
What are some of the environmental impacts that consumerism is having on our world? And should the church even care about it?
Yeah, I mentioned just a little bit ago about, what do we do with the old items when we're done with it? And I linked an article in this blog post about how the fashion industry has been dumping clothes on the beaches in Ghana. And that happens in other places too. I even think about and there is a sense that we have to do something with trash, and we're going to have trash, and there has to be a way to dispose of it. And so I recognize that reality. I think we need to be mindful of because now the people in Ghana are having to deal with all of this trash on their beaches and having to learn, and their environment is totally changed. And so we have to be mindful. How are we disposing of our old things? Are we disposing of it unnecessarily? Is there something else? Could we repurpose it? Could we repair it? But then also, we as the church should care and have concern about our world that we live in. We know that we as the church, we are not necessarily going to usher in God's kingdom by our works. It's only through Him that His kingdom will come and restore this earth, though. He cares about this earth. And so we too should have concern about the environments we're in, as well as the effect that it has on people. Because often those of us who are privileged and kind of participate in the consumeristic culture, we do that, and we then send all our trash to a place where the people won't say anything mean to us, won't do anything to us, don't have any power to resist that. And so we need to consider how are our actions in consuming possibly affecting other people.
Yeah. And what better group of people than the church to lead the way?
Exactly.
To a healthier environment, but then also healthier selves. Yeah. Be the light.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you, Travis, for sharing. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your thought process and your word on this topic. And for anybody else who would like to learn more, obviously, if you're watching this, then go ahead and read his blog. You'll learn a lot more about the things that he had shared. But again, I want you to think of just one individual that you could share this video with, and share that right now as I'm speaking. But then also leave a comment in the comment section. We really want to have participation with you. If you agree with Travis, if you don't agree with Travis, then you can email me. But in that space, we really want to engage with you guys. And so the easiest way to do that is through the discussion in the comments section down below. So you guys have a great week. God bless you. See you next.